This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, we're officially recording?
We're officially recording.
Nice.
So we've got I love those birds. So I've got Kristen as an organizer, and here, let me change Hannah as an organizer. There we go. All right, so everybody's ready to rock and roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Woohoo! Is it?
Hi, Kanata.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
We got a party
How you
going.
doing?
I know.
Good. How's it going? You guys say hi. Say hi to Miss Carla.
Hi.
That's good.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Huh. A lot better now that we get to see each other's beautiful faces.
Right?
I drink coffee.
Well, I have a smoothie, but yeah.
Thank you, Kristen.
It's my career and professional development straw. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it changes color.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go.
I'll make sure I tell Angie and Jessica that you guys will
Representing.
Let's drink our probiotics together.
Yay!
And the coffee.
I need to get my tea together.
So is that officially tea or coffee? Because it's coffee with the glucose, right?
We don't discriminate.
Coffee, tea, and or probiotics.
We have it all.
Variety, diversity.
You're so much fun, Hannah.
So Amanda, I love the fabric behind you. It looks very unique. Does that mean anything?
I'm sorry?
Is it a meaningful piece of fabric from somewhere?
No, it's not. I got it from Amazon for like $15 and I just really liked the design. So and
Yeah.
I've had it, I was telling them I've had it for like since 2016.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
It's Garrett. Good morning, Garrett.
Hey Garrett.
I get
Hello, Garrett.
How's everyone doing?
pretty
Good.
good.
I can't complain.
Good.
What's that beer stuff?
Y'all,
And we
so
have
it is
Michelle.
it's 10:01, which means Coffee with the Blue Coat has officially started. With that being said, we do have some guests. We have Dr. Vickery. Hello, Dr. Vickery. Do you want to introduce yourself and kind of explain what you do at the university for students who don't know?
Sure, I'd be happy to. My title is Provost and Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs. And I like to reassure people that Provost is not the Army term for provost, like Provost Marshal. I don't arrest people. It's an academic term that describes the Chief Academic Officer. And so I oversee all of academic and student affairs at the university. So that includes the colleges, the university library, technology enhanced learning, of course, student affairs division, and enrollment management, our social media now, our website. So it's a fairly large area. We also oversee all curriculum, instruction, graduate studies, and the list goes on.
Cool.
So that's what my title is. And just as background information, I have been here for 9 years now. And my experience is working at new universities. I was at Florida Gulf Coast University prior to coming here, for a brand new university, opened its doors in 1997. And now here as we opened up our doors, and it's a really exciting place to be when you're able to start a new educational environment and really sort of set the forward direction for it.
Mm-hmm.
She's also part of the nursing faculty, and it was really cool to see because maybe was it 1-2 weeks ago, me and Amanda were over at Dr. E's office and we bumped into her, and she was telling us about how crazy it was that nurses put in so much sacrifice. They have to basically take care of people dealing with COVID, and also they have kids at home and they're also students, and all of that put together makes you really think some people have it very crazy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
We have done a lot in my pathophysiology class that I teach to make very flexible deadlines and extending things just because you never know what a person is experiencing in their own home environment.
Exactly.
You don't know what's going on with their family, you don't know what's going on with their work, and so it's time to be very kind and flexible and really focus on the person.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of healthcare professionals are actually isolating themselves from their family, just to protect their family. So that's something else other than everything that's going on that they're having to deal with.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law is a nurse, and when she comes home, she comes in through the garage, she says, takes it all off and kind of puts on her robe and goes immediately to the laundry.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to hug her, her son, and it keeps that distance. And she said it's pretty rough. She's out in Austin, so every time I get a chance to talk to her, it's wow, it keeps growing. My admiration for all the nurses and doctors and just all the professionals out there. So.
And a lot of people don't realize how uncomfortable it is wearing personal protective equipment. It is not fun. You can barely breathe. You're hot, you're sweaty. Doesn't matter if you wash your hair or not, you look awful in the protective gear.
My mother-in-law is actually on the COVID-19 ICU unit here in Temple. And she said she's going to end up living at the hospital here in Temple.
Wow.
It's just dangerous to go home.
The other thing is we are such social creatures. It was really fun watching all of you interact after not seeing each other for a while. And you can see what social creatures we are. And this type of distance is very hard for us, emotionally, physically.
I
want to bring up
our group as close as you guys are.
I want to bring up too real quick students who, because I know a lot of students who works at places like Walmart or H-E-B or any other grocer or gas station, stuff like that, because they're experiencing a bunch of craziness right now too. So I want to take a second to really thank students and those sort of members that still have to go into work every day and still have to deal with the craziness of the shelves being absolutely bare. I don't know if you guys checked out Walmart or H-E-B, but those lines are crazy and there's practically nothing. So having to deal with crazy customers and stuff right now, especially, I've worked in customer service before. I can only imagine how it is right now. So yes, I want to thank them too, just to give a quick acknowledgement because they're also helping the world run at this moment.
Yep. I want to say hi to Sierra. I see Sierra jumped on here.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow, we got 18 people in here. That's crazy.
Yes. There's Michelle.
Hello.
Hi.
We do have a little chat box, so even if you are muted, please feel free if you have any questions for anybody on the forum, web chat, Coffee with the Blue Coats, whatever you want to call this. Please talk to us. We would love to hear back from y'all. This is more than just us talking to each other. This is also a platform for you guys to speak with us too. So please take advantage of that. Amanda, I know you mentioned earlier that you have a question about the library.
Yes. So with the shelter in place taking effect last night, just before midnight, I was wondering if the library is still going to be open.
I can answer that, and I have the information hot off the press. I've been in constant contact with the librarian, Bridget McCafferty, who is the director, the dean of the university library, with our president. I met with the president and vice presidents this morning. The state and the National Library Associations have all recommended that libraries close down.
Okay.
And they recommended that last week. We wanted to keep our library open as long as possible for students and faculty and staff to use, but we need to close it down today at 5 p.m. Now, that said, what are we doing? Because there are a lot of students who need access. So we've been looking at the students who have been coming in this week and what have they actually been using. And they haven't been really accessing the stacks or the books. They've been accessing the copiers and the computers. So what we have done is we have in the same building, Warrior Hall, we have the computer lab 104 open, and the hours are pretty extensive. We'll have it be open from on Monday through Thursday from 7:45 a.m. till 9:15 p.m. And then on Fridays from 9 to 5, and then on Saturday morning, 7:45 to something like 6-ish. Those hours will be posted on the university website.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And then we also have, we're moving the color copier from the library to the computer lab, and we have 2 black and white print copiers. One is in Warrior Hall, and the other is here in Founders Hall.
Awesome.
So we think that will take care of the computer access. The other thing we are going to do while we can is, because the shelter in place applies to so many of us, by appointment, if students need to have access to resources in the library, they can call in, schedule an appointment, and come and pick it up. So we don't want to close them off from print access. And then finally, the library has extensive electronic resources, and all the librarians are available for chat and reference assistance online. So we have all the services that students will need available, just not that beautiful space for a while.
Okay, well that's awesome. Yeah, I was concerned like for the resources. So nice.
It's been one of our central themes in all of our discussions during this period of crisis decision making is the needs of our students, how we can ensure that they get the resources they need. And I know, well, you probably know so many of the student affairs services. I think Brandon should also talk about what you're doing to provide really essential things, including counseling.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and just so you all know, the information about the library closure will be going out here momentarily. I just got the notice, so as soon as I get off of this call, I will be sending that out to all of you. And so just huge kudos, I think, to a lot of our staff, definitely within student affairs, but also the library and other parts of the institution who have really worked on this. There's several staff on this call right now who are working remotely online, and that's a huge thanks to our technology enhanced learning staff, our IT staff. So just profound kudos to them. So I just kind of wanted to mention that. But within student affairs, student life, we've been able to put a lot of our programs online, which if you would have asked me 6 months ago doing that, I could never imagine that we would be doing something like this right here, Coffee with the Blue Coats, virtually. I would have said it was impossible to do something like that, that's face to face. into an online forum. And so kudos to Carla and all of you. One of the things that we have found that, within student affairs, a lot of our interactions are with students, either in larger groups, which we've had to revisit, or individually, in which, that being the case, individually we've been able to kind of convert a lot of our interactions to using GoToMeeting. And so students are still able to access us for mock interviews, resume assistance, if they're wanting to kind of talk with Garrett one-on-one to begin planning events for the fall, what that looks like. We can, use that through a GoToMeeting. And so with other platforms, it becomes, get a little bit more complicated whenever you start looking at student counseling, right? And so naturally, we want to be able to provide those programs to students at a distance, and we should be able to, given that a lot of our students are taking courses online or at a distance. And so we're not able to use the same platform, but I've been very fortunate. Many of y'all know Dr. Amuna in the Counseling Center. She's an incredible person for our counseling program, but she's actually been working on this for a little while now, and we've been able to implement a program called, I believe it's Simple Practice. And so that's the technology platform. You really don't have to be familiar with the name, but if you go onto the counseling website and you're wanting to schedule a counseling appointment, you can go ahead and just click when you want to schedule it. Everything's synced with her calendar. So you just click on what time is available for you and then enter in your credentials, your information, and then it's automatically scheduled. And then shortly you will get a confirmation link, and then confirmation instructions on how to log on to this platform, and for her to provide counseling services to you all or anybody, one of our students, at a distance. And so even with programs like that, we have been able to take them virtually. So there's no need to come on campus to utilize those traditionally face-to-face services. And so with this, I will say, whether it's faculty, whether it's staff, this has not been easy for any of us. And I'm sure with many of you, if y'all have been taking face-to-face courses, the transition to a different format may not be easy, right? And so just a huge thank you to all of our staff who have put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and our faculty as well, but also to you all. I know I say this on my emails, it's we are coming together as a warrior community, and it's all about the warrior spirit. And a lot of institutions can say that, but I think that's more importantly for ours, because whenever we look at the warrior spirit, there may be a challenge, but we know that we're going to overcome that challenge. And with so many individuals that I've talked to, there hasn't been a resistance to that, right? There hasn't been complaints. And so I'm just very fortunate to find myself in that situation, being able to work with such incredible students like yourselves, and also faculty and staff.
Yeah. We do have a question. So Todd wants to know our impressions on how tech support for things like Canvas, Warrior Web, and Office 365 is going. Does anybody have any input for that question?
I personally have not experienced any difficulties with any of those platforms. I've had WebEx classes, so pretty interesting, but everyone is muted, and you don't see anyone except for the teacher, which is fine, because during a class it could get distracting depending on what everyone is doing. But she made a complaint that there was an echo, but when everyone was muted and it was just her, she would ask questions if anyone had a question. Same one here, there's a web a text box that you can ask questions on, or she wanted you to unmute yourself and ask the question. So it worked out pretty good. That's the only complaint that I've heard. I don't have personal complaints, so or I've not had any difficulties either.
Speaking of text boxes, actually, Jeremy just dropped a Campus Rex Discord server link in this chat for this video.
Awesome.
So if you're interested, they play video games together. I think we were all adding our Steam Links, which is a platform for gaming, and then also Animal Crossing. I don't know if y'all play that. I don't have a Switch. I'm sad.
Campus Rex, you can tell us more about it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to unmute my mic. Yeah, so can everybody hear me? Can I get a thumbs up? Awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, some of our students created this Discord server, and it's like a, I don't know, as an old person, I feel like the way to describe it is it's like a chat, like an AOL chat room, but like more stuff, right? So like that's what I think of it as, but you can do all kinds of things. People can share their live streaming if they're streaming video games. We're working on getting text-based Dungeons and Dragons games and Magic the Gathering games going on through there, and other just ways to interact. It's just another tool for us to stay engaged with everybody. So there's a lot of different pages on that server where you can click around and see what's going on.
Yeah, actually, Victoria Ellis is working on making like a custom like Warrior Warbler like emoji like for the server. It's so cute. I'm like excited to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be adorable. We're just trying to like get everybody into a place where we can communicate and we can talk about our terrible coworkers at home now and stuff like that. Yeah, it's interesting. We're working. It may not sound like it, but we're working really hard to make it as fun and as easy to access for everybody who's not familiar with this like digital world. Thankfully, many of us are actually grew up with the internet, so we're kind of like hitting the ground running, just trying to like throw all these ideas at Jeremy, and he's like, "Take a step back, y'all. How do we do this for beginners?" And so we're like, we're working on it. It's a
Do
process.
you remember when we showed him how to do bold and italics?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. We were showing people how to do different, like how to change their text in the conversation so that it would look fancier or more interesting, and like it's just funny. It's fun. We're having fun, and we created a little workroom just like our workspace upstairs, so that if we're doing homework and it's driving us nuts, or if we're working on something that we can't figure out and we want some more input from other people, we can just go into the work chat and like the workroom chat and act like we're sitting in the workroom asking for help and stuff like that. So we're having a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
I have a question for the group. I'm just kind of curious to hear from you all, from the students. So over the last couple of weeks, we've made some pretty monumental changes, and so I'm just curious, what's the current student vibe? Does everybody feel as though they're maintaining, they're adapting, or is there any specific place where maybe y'all have heard that students need support, they need assistance? So what's like the current pulse? And I would say on campus, but yeah.
Honestly, I think we all just miss each other.
Yeah.
Like what I've heard from my classmates is like, oh, I miss seeing like a friendly face like every day. And I think like a way to like help with that would be like maybe we should all like try a little harder to like text each other or like reach out, like maybe a video call here or there, like maybe like just stay on call like while you're doing homework together. I think that would be pretty beneficial for our mental health, honestly.
Mhm.
FaceTime is a great tool for that. That way you can see each other through FaceTime if you all have iPhones. That's how a couple of my classmates and I studied last night. So because we have a midterm today.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry. Ooh.
But yeah, it's just definitely been a huge change. This semester, actually, I took my first online class ever. And so now from being like having no online classes and like slowly integrating into one, now I'm thrown into all 5 of my classes are now online. It felt really overwhelming at the start, especially like waiting to hear back from professors about how due dates are changing and how since we no longer have like in-class discussion, I now have a more it's a more like serious setting discussion instead of just like open talk with my classmates. And I think that's been one of my personal like hardest struggles, is not being able to talk like one-on-one with my classmates face to face in a more like relaxed setting. It's now a more like professional setting online that I now get graded for. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. but I think I agree with him. Like, I'm a social butterfly, so the fact that I don't get to have that face-to-face, one-on-one is a little bit of a struggle for me.
Honestly, for sure, I definitely feel that. Like, for me, one of my biggest motivators in getting stuff done for school is that like pressure of seeing the people who have to do the same stuff as you and like having to tell them like, oh, I haven't started it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the fact that I'm just alone in my room, like with so much other stuff to do, like I could play like guitar, or I could like draw, or I could like watch YouTube and like lay in my bed and be comfortable other than like doing schoolwork. It's really hard. So
Yeah. Yesterday, I shared that meme on Facebook that was a clip of Michael Scott from The Office when they like created their own Michael Scott paper company, and he was like, "That's my corner. That's my work corner. I can't relax in my work corner."
exactly. It's actually really good to have like a separation and like, because if you work too much in your bed, you might not be able to get to sleep as easily as you would. So I have this like little table, as you can see, in my room. It's on the floor, but it's a table, and it's like my little work desk.
So I actually wrote, I did this yesterday. So I got a sticky note, and this is like what I have to do this week. And then I also did, this is for yesterday. I haven't made one for today, but this is like what I had to do yesterday. And that really helped me kind of like stay on track and like stay on focus, knowing right in front of me like what I have to do, what due dates and what times they are for this week. Because if I look at the bigger picture of all my new due dates, I'm like, I feel overwhelmed and I don't know where to start or what to do first. So this has really helped me. If any students like watching like feel the same way, I definitely recommend writing down on like an index card or a sticky note and putting it somewhere where you can like immediately see it while you're doing your schoolwork. That way it does help you like keep track and keep focus. It also helps you not feel as overwhelmed because it has a set amount for what you can do, and that way you don't overwork. Because I'm really bad about that myself. If I have a ton of things to do, I want to get it done like there, then, so I don't have to worry about it, which causes me to stress out even more because I have so much to get done. So this gives like a certain limit, and it also allows me to take a break, which is good for mental health as well. Yeah.
So what other things for fun have y'all been doing to keep yourself in that mental health well space?
Definitely getting out and like going outside, like hiking. I know some of the trails are closed, but a lot aren't, which is good because outside is great and the sun is shining today. I think for me that's been a really big outlet, just so I'm not cooped up in the house. So
yeah, even with the I want to mention that even with the shelter in place, you are allowed to exercise, like go outside and go hiking. You just have to maintain the 6 feet apart distance from other people around you. So you don't have to stay cooped up in your house. It's not what this is saying. You can go outside and walk your dogs, take a walk, even if it's just around the block, even if you're not a big like exerciser or even walker, just going down the street and back could be a nice like refresher, because AC feels a little stuffy sometimes, even in this heat. So
I was also gonna say that I'm gonna start posting yoga videos on Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. I was gonna do yoga live on Facebook, but then I couldn't figure out how to get it from live to Instagram and Twitter all at the same hour without like having to do the whole hour and then send it to the other platforms. So I'm just gonna record an hour ahead of time, and there's gonna be mindfulness at the beginning and at the end. So Monday and Wednesdays, 1 p.m. I was playing around all day yesterday with how to record it and stuff. So I'm pretty confident that I will absolutely be on schedule on Wednesday tomorrow.
awesome.
how can students access that? Like, where do they find that at?
So it's going to be posted on our CT Warrior Rec, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. I think Twitter, IG, TV now lets you do an hour-long video, but I'm going to see what happens. Worst case scenario, I'm absolutely posting it on my personal YouTube account, which has no other videos on it already anyway. So worst case scenario, I'll be sharing the link to the videos from my YouTube And if we can sort out how to start a campus recreation YouTube, that might be a little bit smoother. That way, whenever one day I do graduate, somebody else can do videos and not just me.
I love that.
That sounds really awesome. Like that sounds like a really good way to keep like mindfulness and like feel peacefulness, like even though you're like cooped up in the same space like all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
I used to have classes during your yoga time, Tori, and so I always missed it, or it was too early, and I didn't want to wake up that early. But this way, students who didn't have access to like those things before, they have access to it now. So I think that's something really cool too, and it's kind of a bright side of like something that's come out of this. That way other people can be more involved with your classes. Cool. So I do have a couple of fun questions that were submitted to Blue Coat's Instagram. I just want to throw them out there, kind of get the conversation going. Anybody can answer any of these. So what is your guys' coffee order? Like Starbucks or Coffee Beanery, even at home, like creamers, what is your go-to coffee order?
Since I live in Temple and our mall just shut down, boo. My favorite is Peggy's Coffee House. This guy that I know started a coffee house in memoriam of his mother, and he sells Death Wish coffee, which has 200% more caffeine than a regular cup of coffee, and it's like at the FDA limit of caffeine for the United States and stuff. Anyway, it's wild. It's called Death Wish Valhalla Java Odin Force, and it makes you like, ooh, like you're on a roll once you start taking that coffee. It's insane. You're like bouncing off the walls, and then you crash so easily. You're like, I need a 4-hour nap right now. So that's my favorite.
Okay, great.
All right, who else?
At home, my favorite creamer.
Hubbard, he just jumped on and wanted to say hi and have a cup of coffee with us. So, hello.
Hi. I was literally like typing just now. I was like, you're in luck. We're literally talking about coffee right now. But as I was saying, my favorite creamer for coffee at home is sweetened condensed milk.
Ooh.
It's really good. I just take like a little half spoonful. It's so good.
So my favorite coffee, I love coffee, and it's not that I'm addicted to coffee, but I love the act of drinking coffee, something just warm. And so there's this coffee place out of San Diego called Lofty Coffee, and I have fallen in love with their coffee. I actually have it shipped to my house every month. It's that good. And so I typically just drink black coffee with quite a bit of milk. Usually it's like 15 to 20% milk, and that's how I enjoy my coffee.
Nice.
Brandon, I am addicted to coffee, so but I'm very not picky. I'm just like, if it's strong, that's good with me. But I think if I'm gonna just drop some money and get coffee, anything with caramel in it, or caramel. I don't want to trigger anybody. However you prefer to say the word.
Caramel.
Caramel.
My favorite is just honestly any coffee. Love coffee, but I do also have like 20% milk / creamer. And my favorite is like the sweet cream creamer. And then I put like, don't come for me, but I put like a whole fourth a cup of sugar in my coffee.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even coffee anymore, Amanda.
I know.
She likes a little coffee with her cream and sugar.
You guys remember when we had coffee? When we were doing the coffee, she was like 1, 2, 3, and I was like, stop it.
So I used to use a lot of sugar in my coffee, and 1 year for Lent, I gave it up because I was like, I need to stop using sugar. And I lasted about 2 days, right? I lasted about 2 days, and Paul was in the office with me. He was like, you need to get some sugar in your coffee because you're not drinking your coffee. And anyway, it only lasted 2 days. And then I watched this documentary. It was about how much sugar we consume as a society. And the name escapes me, but it was just a very moving documentary, as many documentaries can be. And so I just quit cold turkey after watching that. And I've never had sugar in coffee since. But it was just interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So if I find the documentary, I will send it your way.
Yes,
Cool.
please do. It's not good. It's really not good for me. I know it's not, but it's so it's good on the palate. You know.
Y'all remember when Starbucks came out with the unicorn frap and it was like all the different colors and all that stuff? Like I had a kid that would order one of those when I worked at HBU, but he would get extra cream, extra sugar, basically everything you're not supposed to have in it. It looked like he was drinking a milkshake every day. And he was so stubborn. He's like, well, it's not that much extra sugar. And we Googled it and showed him how much he had put in there. And he just sets it down on the counter and left the room. He never ordered it again.
Oh my goodness.
That coconut creamer that we were getting, that already has like the flavor, and I don't even have to put sugar. It's just like a dash of that, and good stuff.
It was so popular.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I've been buying it like crazy too. So.
My favorite Starbucks order, like if I want something sweet, like the sweetest I'll go maybe is like a Java chip frap or like an ice mocha. Like I can't do much sweeter than that.
From Starbucks, I normally get the it's like a vanilla sweet cream cold brew.
That is good.
Yeah, I got Hannah and Amanda on it because I tried it and I was like, this is it. It's more of a bitter coffee taste. So if you like closer to to black coffee, I highly recommend that. But now it's also a good time. Yesterday, the other Blue Coats and I did a quick little brainstorming session, and on Fridays now we're gonna start hosting a cooking with a Blue Coat. It's gonna be like a live. I'm not sure live on what yet, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or maybe both. We're gonna start doing the cooking with your Blue Coats. And one of the recipes I wanted to do, I actually make a cinnamon maple milk tea, which is it's like boba tea almost. It's like the kind of tea that you put with boba. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that and join us on Fridays so you can make a recipe with us.
You want to tell them what we're doing after this?
Oh yeah, so right after this, we're gonna start doing every Tuesday. We're gonna rotate it throughout the Blue Coats. It's gonna be kind of a quick. It's gonna be on Instagram specifically. It's gonna be an Instagram live. It's only gonna be about 10-15 minutes long. It's going to be a quick recap of our Coffee with the Blue Coat session, so like all the information that was shared, just in case like some students missed it or they want a more like condensed version. Or it's also going to be a platform to ask more questions because we have 23 people on here right now, so there's kind of a lot of there's a lot of area for people to, and there's a lot of people talking. So this kind of gives a more like interpersonal platform to just talk to one Blue Coat specifically. It's kind of like getting to know the Blue Coats on a more personal level during this time. I shared a little bit earlier about what I do to study during all this craziness, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more in depth whenever I go live after this, about how I study, how I keep up with my schoolwork during this time, some good like techniques to do as far as like concentration, finding a nice quiet place to study or read, or recommendations to find a place within your house or your own space. So that's what we're doing if you guys want to join in with us.
And then on Wednesday, Amanda, what are we doing? The polls?
Wednesday, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted. Wednesdays, I am going to post polls. Polls. Yes.
Yes, polls.
So this one coming up, I wanted to post you know, like see like how are you doing today, and like have like a scale, maybe with emojis, maybe with something else. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but just like on a scale, like how are you doing today? How are you feeling today? And then I'm also going to have the counseling center information connected to that poll. So like if people, you know, if they don't know about scheduling appointments online and about the new platform that we are going to use, I want to put that information out there because like we all said, like it's just a crazy transition, like, and it wasn't even like a, okay, let's, you know, like work into this, like let's prepare for this. It was just kind of like a slap in the face. And all of the Blue Coats have been discussing, like a lot of our students are older, and like school is like that place to like, you know, have fun and like have that human interaction. So I just want to put that information out there so everyone knows about it.
Then on Thursday, Savannah, you want to tell us about your scavenger hunt?
Yeah, so on Facebook there will be a scavenger hunt of like, household items, and all you have to do is take a picture of it and comment down below in the post, and whoever sends the most of the scavenger hunt will win a prize. I don't think we're quite sure what the prize is going to be yet, but there will be a prize for the winner of the scavenger hunt.
Yep. Very cool. And then Krishan, you want to tell us what you're doing on Thursday and Friday, or Friday?
You're muted.
We're going to be making masks for like the nurses and stuff like that at the hospitals, and so they don't get sick and, you know, pass away, stuff like that.
Can you find all of this on Engage?
Can I do what?
Can you find all of this information on the Engage calendar?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we can put it on there. Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely put it on there, right, Garrett?
Cool. So if anybody on here right now, if you know any other students who were able to make this Coffee with the Blue Coats, please reach out and let them know, like share all the information that was given today. You can always follow us on our Facebook page, which is Texas A&M University. It's student affairs, right, Carla?
It's the let me tell you exactly how it says. That way.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
It's Texas A&M University, Central Texas, new student programs.
Okay.
Or you could, the hashtag is your Blue Coats.
And also our Instagram is @YourBlueCoats, and our Twitter is also @YourBlueCoats. So a lot of the polls and other things that we mentioned are going to be on our Instagram. So please follow us on there. We want to hear back from you guys. And you can always message any of our pages if you're just having like an off day and you don't want to talk to anybody that you know, like personally. Sometimes having somebody outside of your bubble to talk to is really nice. So please feel free to reach out to us. It doesn't have to be about anything serious. If you're just like, what's your favorite flower? We can talk about our favorite flowers. Or even like just basic things like how's class going, and if you need any other like resources or you don't know how to find those resources, you can always talk to us and we'll find. If we don't know off the top of our heads, we will find the resources for you.
Yeah. And also, if any of you guys know how to sew, I mean that would really be helpful because I think Hannah knows how to sew, but I mean I don't think anybody else knows how to sew. So yeah.
If you have like a sewing machine, or we can just coordinate that and get all those materials together. Anybody else have anything they like to talk about, or any last minute words?
Actually, on Fridays, Did we talk about Scribble.io already?
Oh, no,
Oh,
I'm
no,
sorry.
we haven't.
Go ahead.
Okay,
That
so
was yours, right? Scribble and what else?
like Scribble.io, like the little like Fun Friday type thing.
Fun Friday, yeah.
I was wondering like maybe we could also like promote it in the Campus Rec Discord because I know y'all are gaming. But we could totally do like a group call either over this with like screen share or like over Discord voice call, and we could all hop on an online game of Scribble.io, but like one with a link so that we could all like be on there together without like internet strangers, just for us students. But it's basically a game where it's like Pictionary. You get assigned a random word, and everyone takes turns, but whoever's turn it is, they get assigned a random word, and then they have to draw it, and then everyone else has to guess what it is.
That sounds like fun.
It's free, yeah.
So I just wanted to quickly add that the Warriors Against Sexual Assault will still be doing events for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We're still working out all the details, but so far I think we're sticking with doing Denim Day online and possibly a movie streaming. But we'll get that information out to you as soon as we've worked out all the details.
Perfect. Oh, and that's another thing. We still want to, if any like other clubs still want to do Coffee with the Blue Coats, we still want to leave that open for clubs to be more involved. So if we host like a Coffee with the Blue Coats one day and we, like our Criminal Justice Club, if the Criminal Justice Club decides to join in again, we can have like the president or even like 1 or 2 members there to specifically focus on what the club does or what they're doing at this time as club members to keep in contact with each other. So that is still open. I want to let everybody know that. So any clubs that we haven't reached out to yet or we haven't really confirmed with you guys, because we have a lot of dates set up for the future that are kind of like up in the air now. Yeah, please feel free to email us and we'll be reaching out to the club presidents very soon as well. Because we still want to keep guests coming in. We don't want it to just be us all the time. We still want new information and new people coming in.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to confirm Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It's in April, yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Did we mention the drawing?
Oh, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
So drawing with the Blue Coats.
Yeah.
It could honestly be any form of art. Just because I don't want to discourage people. We don't want to discourage anyone. If drawing is not their, forte, then just any art, I think. What days were we doing that on?
I don't think we've fully decided yet because we have so many ideas that are coming into fruition. It's something that we wanted to do, but I want to reach out about it more to see what kind of art there is for students to do. Hannah and I talked about drawing and making a quick like template because Hannah has an iPad, so she can like draw something real quick and we can share that template on our like media platforms. That way we can all be drawing the same thing. So yeah, we're not really sure yet, but once we get specific dates or what days, we will make sure to update students about that.
And also, if there's anything else anyone else would like to share with, when we do the Coffee with the Blue Coats, just let us know. Email us and say, hey, I want to talk about this when we're doing it. So this can be just like our platform, share all our ideas and all the fun stuff. So
yeah.
Thank y'all for inviting us. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you for Dr. Gray Victory for logging in and kind of.
Thank you.
Goodness, thank y'all for coming to this web chat.
Yeah, this was really fun. I was kind of nervous about how the first one was going to go, But I think it went really smooth, and I think we got a lot of good like information and stuff out there. Brandon talked a little bit about like the warrior spirit, and I really feel like all of us have it, and that this really goes to show like even though we're not the traditional university, we're still very much connected with one another, and we're still all here for one another, whether it's face to face, online, whatever. Like we're still here. We want to be interactive. So yeah. We never really talked about how long these were gonna be, but I think this is a pretty good. I think this is a pretty good conclusion. I don't know if anybody else wants to say their farewells, but I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next Coffee with the Blue Coats. And please don't forget that right after this, we are going live on Instagram, and I would love to see you guys there. So
Thank you.
Y'all stay safe.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know how to end this.